Hi, everybody. It's Divine Destiny Grace here from Kasamba. It's so good to actually have you all here live. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to our session. I can see we've got questions coming up already, so I'm going to start answering those in just a minute. But just to let you know a little bit about me, I do come from a family of psychics, and I started reading tarot when I was 18. And then I have been doing visioning work, tarot, psychic readings for people in some form for the past 25 years. So I have a tremendous amount of experience, and I have a very specific way of working. So what I'm going to ask from you, for those of you who are asking questions, is number one, when you're asking a question, if you can be as specific as possible, that's going to allow me to give you an answer faster rather than to do a reading to find out what is the background on the question in order to then answer the question, if that makes sense. So for example, if you have a question about a person of interest, you would say, I'm dating someone, I'm talking to someone, or I'm in a relationship with somebody, and I want to know if we're going to get married, or if there's a future, or if he or she loves me, or if they've left me, but unless they're going to come back. So does that make sense? It's like the more specific you can be, just the faster it is for me to get in there and have a look at giving you some accurate answers. So I'm all ready to go with the first question. Oh, one more thing. It is illegal for us to answer questions about health. You can't practice medicine without a license. So unfortunately, I can't answer those kind of questions. So here we go. I think most of the questions I'm seeing are all about life, how well you're going to do in the future, you know, your love interest, your career and finances. So we're good to go with the first question. What do you see happening between myself and my person of interest? Is there hope for us being together? So by what you see happening between yourself, I am going to assume you want to see if that relationship is going to last. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the person that you are interested in, or is it actually going to be something long-term or romantic? Because that's a bit vague. So I'm just going to go over as much as I can as possible. I've got disappointment here for you on this, I'm sorry to say, and a lot of confusion. So I think you're getting confusing messages, which is why you might be a little bit confused as to what's going on. The issue is commitment. The other person isn't really somebody who's all that good on committing to how they feel and what they think and moving in that instance. And in your immediate future, I have a pathway of where you're deciding whether or not to hang on or whether or not to go forward. So in this instance, I look to your fate with this person. What is your fate with this person? And immediately I see there is somebody else that you're fated to be with. So this is going to fall away. Sorry to say. However, the person that you actually end up with, that you're fated to be with, is somebody you've not met yet, and very strong love, very strong, and I feel it's beautiful actually. So I would not cry over spilt milk on this one, because I do have the card of sorrow, emptying out tears over this guy. So I would let go and open up to something better. Awesome. I'm ready for the next question. I'm in a long distance relationship and wonder if he will ever tell me that he loves me. So we need to find out what his love language is, because not everybody tells you they love you verbally, but they show you it in other ways. So let's have a look at what he's all about. And it would be really helpful for you, just because we don't have a lot of time, if you're telling me if your other person is same sex, just so that it's quicker for me to answer, right? Okay, cool. So, very strong sexual interest here. Strong connection, a little emotionally retarded. Okay, so I get that this person does have feelings for you, keeps them hidden, is in the process of questioning the longevity of this relationship and whether or not you can end up being together. In the short term, it looks like you're going to give it a good go. But unfortunately, that outcome card is that you just can't seem to get it together to be in the same place at the same time. And that is the question that needs to be resolved in order for him to fall deeper emotionally. So it's not like he's going to fall in love with you and then go, great, let's move to the same place so we can be together. For them, their mind most definitely needs to be in the situation of actually knowing what's going to happen in the future as if it's happening before they will ever open up emotionally. Sorry to say that, but that's just who that person is. That person is very cautious, very lovely, genuine person, but they're in their head a lot, which means that solutions need to be found before they're going to feel comfortable to trust enough and allow emotions to come up. But this person does have deep feelings for you. I wouldn't say that they have conceptualized that as love, but from a spiritual perspective, there is a kind of love there. Not seeing that verbal coming your way until you resolve that question of whether or not you can live in the same place. And right now, it's hanging in the balance. There's no fate card here to tell me you're fated to be with this person. But at the same token, there's no fate card here saying you're not fated to be with them. So this is in a free will zone, which means you're going to need to work that out. And the Tower card is here is usually always upheaval. But on a positive note, that can also mean that the potential is there for one of you to uproot and be together. So I would tread carefully with this person because emotionally, they need to go slow. Okay, who's next? I'm sorry, talk to text. Oh, I mean to say, will my home life get better or will it get worse? And will I have the finances to move? Okay, Paulina, let's have a look. I can see fear here, fear of future. You have to be very careful with fear of future because you can manifest the very thing that you are afraid of. And right now, universe is waiting for you to declare what you want. Financially, things are going to get better, so that's good. And that's going to be based on your own work. You're working hard to improve your finances through being a bit more spendthrift, saving a little bit. This is in the future. And then opportunities for you to earn more are coming within the next 3 months. So next year, dramatically different year for you. Really good. You've got a success card here. You've got teamwork, which means you're in a really good position with your working situation. Also, your home life improves as well. So I think it's finances improve first and then home improves first. And I think in the new year, you are moving. So I'm not seeing it this side of the holiday season. I am seeing it in about 3 months' time, which takes us into January, right? November, December, January, end of January, February. A lot of things that are hidden right now that you don't know of that are going to cause changes for you for the better. So I'm really excited to say that, yes, things are going to get better. So hang in there. Okay, who's next? Did I really mess up? Oh, he's hoping that you did not. And my ex-boyfriend, best friend relationship, like no coming back, does he hate me? Also, am I around negative energy with people that don't like me but smile in my face? So you're looking at people who might not be authentic. Got it. Okay. Let's have a look. What happened? Yeah, this is a really big life lesson for you on learning how to be moderate with your behavior and moderate with your speech. I am not getting that you messed it up as in if you did something different, you would have had a different outcome. I am not getting that. I am getting that mistakes were made on both sides. And I am getting that your time just came to an end. Some people are fated to be in our life for a lifetime, and others are only fated to come in for a certain amount of time. So you had already gone through the process of both of your souls wanting to grow. So the only reason why you might be feeling the way you are right now is because your ego's holding on. But I get that it is in the past. I don't get that there is a coming back in this relationship. I do get you do find a life partner. You do get a soulmate, and that soulmate is coming in next year sometime, specifically around I don't know what country you live in, but it feels like it's summer, sometime in the summer. So yeah, and that looks really good. This person will come back into your life as a friend, so you haven't lost the friendship, but the friendship will change. It will be more cautious, and it will take a while to repair and heal, but they'll be there on an ongoing basis, on and off, but not on a daily basis or a weekly basis or even a monthly basis, especially when you have that new relationship coming in. Awesome. You wanted to know who's negative around you as well. Is there anybody negative? Well, that's a really hard question to answer, because most people white lie. Like, most people don't tell you everything that they're thinking, or if they felt hurt, or they're doing something behind your back on the little scale, then that's kind of day-to-day normal. But in terms of really big things, is there anybody backstabbing you or anybody that's really negative for you? I get that right now you're in the right place at the right time with the right people for the lessons that you need to learn, but you will be dropping one of your friends soon, and you'll know who it is because you get confused by their signals. Sometimes, you feel like there's a good connection there, and other times you feel neglected, and that will come to an end over the next 6 months probably. And then you've got a new friend coming in, and you've got emotional fulfillment with your friends. Awesome. Who's next? Me and my ex-girlfriend broke up 2 months ago. Sorry to hear that. Now she is already in a relationship with a female, I might add, and she told me that she loves her. You think we have a chance to reconcile? Where is she at? Yeah, there is, unfortunately, there is a very deep and profound love between the two of them, and it has a cycle to go through. They may not make it long term, but I'm not being shown the outcome of that because it's not my business to know at this stage. This is a very solid union. This is a very, very solid union. You've got the Lovers, got the soulmate card here. As painful as that is, and as difficult as that is, I can see that, like it's really churning up inside of you, that that is meant to be. Like, that is part of her growth path. She's meant to go into that growth path and go through that for at least the next 10 months, possibly even going into a 3-year cycle with this person, but there isn't a conclusion in terms of whether this is lifetime or not. As far as her returning back to you, I do see that there will be a healing. I do see that she cares enough about you to want to have a healing here and want to heal the rift, so that you understand that, like, you have to understand that when two souls are contracted to come together to love one another or go through a life lesson, there isn't anything you can do, and there isn't anything you can say, and there's nothing wrong with you. It's just, this was the contract, and now I've got to do it, right? So it's kind of like a painter is coming to your house, and they didn't really have a long-term contract with you. They get halfway through the house, and then they get presented with a contract saying, hey, you're contracted to do this beginning to end. You've signed it. You've got to go and complete it right now. And so then they leave your house half done to complete this contract because they didn't have a long-term contract with you. So it doesn't get the priority, unfortunately. But the good news is that you do have some really lovely people coming into your life. Very, very pretty young woman that is more stable in herself and can offer you more of an emotional stability for you. Okay, next. Wow, got lots of questions. Keep them coming, guys. The guy I was interested in went with somebody else. I'm sorry to hear that. Will I get to meet my own boyfriend soon? Okay. Love the color of your hair, Becca. Yeah, that what I just said to that previous person, there was no contract for you with this person long term. So your fate line is definitely haven't met the person. Oh, you've got the Lovers here. That's a soulmate card. You definitely have not met your soulmate yet, but you are about to within the next 6 months. I've got goosebumps all the way up my arms when I said that. It's going to be tough. There's situations that both of you are in that are going to make it difficult at first, but persevere. This is very strong. You're going to feel like you've known them forever. And there's no angst. There's no wondering if it's going to happen. It'll just gel. It'll flow, and it'll be happening without you having to wonder whether or not it's happening. And it's a really, really beautiful energy. So you can just let the past go, and know that you've got something coming up very, very soon. I say 6 months, but just to let you know, sometimes with my time increments, it can be 6 days, right? But it does feel like it's within within a very short time frame, and in the psychic world, that is around 3 to 6 months. Okay. Next, when will Tammy and I get married? When you ask them. Just kidding. Let's have a look. These kind of questions really, they're so complicated. It's not a time frame. You do have beautiful energy here, very, very beautiful energy. There is definitely some kind of an emotional fulfillment and attachment here, aspiring to when is the right time. I kind of think like this is a long engagement. Probably that's why your question. But I have the Star card here in your immediate future, which means there are several opportunities for you to nail down a date, but you are sitting back and you're not coming forward, which is what the delays are about. So you need a softly approach to have a look at when is the best time for stability in order to choose the date, because right now you have a long-term engagement, and by long-term I mean 17 months. So you can change that because your date of marriage is not fated. It's not written in the stars for a certain date. It's in the free will zone, which hence my very first comment when you ask, right? But there seems to be like there's some stability that needs to happen around timing, some things that need to get sorted out first. But you sitting back is not serving you. So it's a nice balance between just saying, "Hey, here's my thinking," and not blurting out too much and revealing too much, if that makes sense. Holding it a little bit back. Awesome. Long distance relationship. I met this man in August. After that, he said he wanted to marry someone else. Oh, I'm really depressed. Well, don't be depressed. It just means that he wasn't the right one for you. Yeah, long distance is difficult. People are lonely, and it's very, very difficult. So not quite sure what your question is. So I'm just going to see what Spirit comes in and says. Yeah, you're depressed because you're telling yourself all sorts of things about you and about, therefore you're not worthy enough, you're not good enough, somebody else is better than you, you're never going to find anybody. You've got all of these false thoughts going on. So you want to get rid of those because they're not true. And this is a time, like from a soul perspective, your soul's happy because it wanted you to get really close to that place within you where you're really being honest with yourself as to whether or not that was the situation that you wanted. And you don't want a long distance relationship. Like at the soul level, you don't want that. At the soul level, like your core being, your core spirit and soul, you want to be having freedom, you want travel, and you want to have somebody who's going to do that with you. And so that's why you've got the long distance, because the travel's like long distance there, right? But actually you want to be traveling with somebody, not to somebody, and backwards and forwards, if that makes sense. And I think that does happen for you. So I've got very strong cards. He's moving on. And I've got very strong cards here too that you need to move on because your fulfillment lies elsewhere. Man, a lot of these relationships are people are being mismatched. We've got false Cupid. False Cupid is always making you fall in love with the wrong person. So watch for that. Okay, who's next? What will my career look like before the end of 2021? Wow, that's so close. We're almost at the end of October. What's it going to look like? It's a little vague, so I'm going to do my best to just give you what's come up. You have a growth card, you have new beginnings, you have regeneration, you have new work, you have disappointments, though, in terms of like you've had this goal and there are disappointments, but on the back of that disappointment, there's reaping rewards for efforts put in. So that is a good. That means more money is coming to you, but it's in the new year. It's not before the end of the year. Before the end of the year, you get word of some new work. Like I would say that there's either a new position or a new job because you have a pay rise here. Like there's an increase in what's coming into you. And you've got the Ace of Crystals and the Ace of Worlds, which are new beginnings. Ace of Worlds is usually a new job or a new business, starting a new business in which you reap financial rewards. Then you have the Nine of Worlds, which is financial rewards for effort put in. So happy about that. But just be aware there are going to be a few minor disappointments. Don't get caught up thinking that's your future. That's your way to your future, right? That's going to pass. Don't worry about that. Awesome. It's been a month since I met a person of interest, and she and I have expressed mutual feelings. I was not looking for anyone unexpected, but we both feel a magnetic pull. Is there potential here? Well, it's actually the best time to meet somebody when neither of you are looking, because it means you're not desperate, right? You're coming together because the universe is pulling you together for a purpose. I feel that. I've got goosebumps up my arms. There is a purpose for the two of you together. So I would say yes, definitely very, very strong potential. You have been drawn together regardless of your head, both of you being in a state where you're not that, haven't been that interested. So that makes it a very, very strong foundation. Oh, yeah, you got the synergy card here. You work really well together, but I think it's going to take time. I don't think you're going to rush into this. I think the energy is so strong. It's like, oh, wow, I've got to go and, get my footing. I've got to get a little bit stable because that's just kind of knocked me over. That's like, wow. So let me go and get stable. And so you'll have moments in between meeting each other where you need to orbit out to get your own footing stable instead of coming together and going with the huge clash of the energy. I don't mean clash as in conflict. I mean clash as in the two big energies coming together and then it being overwhelming that you end up, just orbiting away from each other. I think you're going to take a methodical approach here. You've got the fate card here, which means you are fated to go through some part of your life with this person. Very, very beautiful person, inside and out. Good mind, good match for you. So yeah, I would just take it one step at a time and trust that you've been brought together for a purpose, and have fun figuring out what that purpose is. Awesome. Oh, nice. Becca said, I'd like to thank you very much for your insight. Thank you. I'm getting excited to start a new storyline in my life adventure. Absolutely. I would like to know if I will get a better job. Okay, so I need to look at a time frame on that as well. What does Spirit want to tell you about that? By the way, guys, my name is Divine Destiny Grace. I think you can see that on the screen. You're very welcome to come and have a more in-depth chat with me and a reading with me on the app. I'm on most days during USA opening times, breakfast through to middle of the evening on most days except for Saturday. Okay, you do have new beginnings, but boy, oh boy, is there frustration here on the way to that. You've got a rainbow, which is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, which means something positive is about to happen. However, what is stopping you is the level of commitment to going for what you want instead of trying to find what it is you might have to accept. Does that make sense? You need to flip that and go, you know what, this is what I ideally want, and let me commit time, effort, and energy to going for what I want and take action on that consistently every single day, rather than thinking you have to compromise and accept whatever comes up. But I love a rainbow in a reading because it does mean there's light at the end of the tunnel, a new beginning is coming, but it's up to you to take the action to get there based on you following what you really, really, really want. And if you don't know what you really want, no, I think you've got a vision. You have a vision of what you want, so you should go for it. But if ever you don't even know what you want precisely, watch the Spice Girls. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I tell you what you want, what you really, really want. That's really good to dance to shake your mind loose, to come up with some ideas of what it is that really makes you happy and what makes your heart sing. But you already know what you want, right? So you have to commit to it instead of going, oh, I don't really know what I want because I don't know if it can happen. It's like, no, you know what you want. And now you have to believe that it can happen and go for it. Awesome. Beautiful. I love it. A rainbow's good. A rainbow is very, very good. Oh, a question came up. I've been dating a guy named Chris. We went on a first date last night. It was great. He's been a bit quiet today, and I feel like he is retracing. Any thoughts? Guys, this is obviously a millennial or of that generation where you think something's wrong if you don't hear from them every minute of every day. Let's see. Did he think it was great? Yeah, he was connected. He felt connected. What else? Why is he quiet today? He's not quiet. He's just has a life that he's living, and he's not the sort of person that's going to dump everything for somebody to be in their back pocket. He is definitely independent, and he's not a back pocket kind of a guy. So if you're expecting to have messages flying backwards and forwards all day, every day, or at least every day, that is not him. He has the Hermit card around him, which means he is very pensive. He's very thoughtful. He needs his space. It is good that he has this space because good things happen in his mind when he has the space. If he gets too crowded with your energy or with anybody's energy, he walks away. Whereas if he just has that time to himself, he hasn't retraced. He's just having a day to himself. There are other things on his mind that he is dealing with. He did think you were really lovely, and he wondered about whether or not there is a future there with you. So his head was in a good place. As far as whether or not it's going to develop, I feel that I don't want to be rude or mean or horrible, but you can reject this if you like. But I feel like you're a bit too needy for him, and he senses that. Just the whole idea that you think he's retraced after him after being with him last night and him not, being there for you today, that is neediness, right? And he is independent and he's not looking for somebody who needs him to reassure them all the time. He wants somebody who's independent, out and about, doing their own thing and coming together to do good things and have magic when you do come together. So he already has in his mind that he wonders if emotionally you're either too emotional or you need a little bit more than what he can give at this stage because of that neediness. So just have a look inside and see if that resonates with you. If it doesn't, throw it out. But I do see you meeting up with him again because he wants to give you another chance. So that's where you can show him who you really are from the inside. Okay, next. Who's next? Would love a card from Spirit. Been a rough month. I'm really sorry to hear that. Oh, yeah. You know why? Look, it's been rough because you're going through you're going through a period of regeneration, and you very, very clearly have some kind of a career shift coming up. And there needs to be some kind of a connection to you with what you really desire and going for that and moving forward, and a different mindset around how you view what's going on in your life where you feel like it has been a bit tough. It feels very much like this is a period of seeking answers for you. And I think that you will come out of this phase really soon. The new year is very different for you. New energy, new year. You got a little bit of stagnation over the next 8 weeks, but you come into the new year with new energy, new positivity, and very, very clear on what your pathway forward is. But right now, the difficulties are all about you going within and connecting with your heart to figure out what it is that you really want, and to stop standing for what you don't want. Like, you're putting up with a lot and you're not standing up for yourself. So it's going to keep hammering at you until you do stand up for yourself more, and you put your roots in the ground saying, no, this is what I want. And if this isn't happening here, then you need to be going elsewhere. Okay. How are we doing for time? Cool. Would love reading on my relationship, please. Okay, so that's really vague. Super vague. So let me just do the best I can with what comes up for me. Those of you who are new and didn't see my spiel at the beginning, because we're doing fast readings here, it works best if you are specific with your question, because then I don't have to take time to go behind the scenes to try and figure out what you actually really want to hear. Like, so instead of saying, I would love a reading on my relationship, you would say, I'm in a relationship and I want to know if it's going to last, or I want to know if we're going to have children, or I want to know, is he or she the one? Like, just get specific. Yeah, I can see why you're asking questions, because you've got some indecision cards coming up here. Yeah, you have a lot of unknown quantities. Okay, so the person that you are in the relationship with is there's stagnation. So there's just nothing happening here on the growth spectrum, even though there's a lot of desire for you wanting to be in that soulmate love and that soulmate connection. I have 2 people here, so it's possible that somebody else is coming into your life if they're not already in it. And then you've got question cards about what you want to do, the dynamics of the relationship. There is words that aren't being said, words that aren't being expressed, and that there are things that are hidden, which is part of the reason why there is stagnation. That outcome is good, though. Like, it just feels like you're going through a growth spurt, and you might get renewed beginnings coming up in the new year again as well. If you have a specific question that you want to know very specifically, feel free to ask again with the specifics. Awesome. Hello, Can you see if tree, Capricorn, and I, Scorpio, will be in a long-term relationship? See, now that's specific. Let's have a look. Well, I put the last card I pulled is the Lovers, which is the soulmate card. So there's a good connection here. But there's some things that are in the way. There's definitely a lot of lust here, and sometimes we think that the feelings that we have, especially for women, we think our feelings are love, and in actual fact it's lust, just because we've been programmed not to be lustful. So just be careful of that. I have the Lovers in the outcome, so I'm saying here that there is going to be a development of some kind of a relationship here for at least 6 months. Beyond 6 months, I'm not being shown the longevity of the relationship, but there definitely is potential here. But you do have challenges that you are going to need to solve in order for this to come about. Now, this is a soulmate. We have lots of soulmates. All of us have lots and lots of soulmates. So there isn't really a one for you. You have choices. But for now, this definitely looks like you're moving into something and having emotional fulfillment and having that soulmate connection. And then it's up to the two of you to make it work. I have been dating this guy for 5 years, and I want to know if this connection will lead to a long-term committed relationship. My screen has frozen, so I don't know if that's my internet connection. Oops, I'm back again. Is this connection will lead to a long-term committed relationship? Well, you're kind of in a long-term relationship. Like 5 years is long-term, whether you're committed, right? Whether you're making commitment to have plans for the future or not, that's a long-term relationship. So you're already there. Well, there's magic here. You definitely have a very strong soul connection. And there's harvest here. I would say you've still got ways to go. There's no indication that this is going to end. But the question is going to be, how do you demonstrate commitment? Because they have a different idea about commitment demonstrations than you do, and your values aren't quite matching up. So there's going to be needing to be a compromise there. But that's what you're moving towards. You're moving towards having that discussion about your future together and whether you continue. And I do have a good outcome card. I do have that there is magic here and there's new beginnings. But a lot of it, you have ideas that are getting in the way of it being what you want it to be, because you've got an idea that it's got to be a certain way in order for it to be what you want it to be. And that's not the case, especially when you're dealing with another person who has slightly different values from you. So a good conversation to be had would be around, hey, do you see us building a future together? And just actually getting the words out from the horse's mouth. Okay. I'm a Taurus woman dating a Pisces man. Ooh, sorry to hear that. Pisces men are difficult. I want to know, is he my long-term soulmate? And would we get married and have kids? Sure. Let's have a look. You both have sensitivities, and that's going to make it really volatile. And if you're okay with that, you're ruled by Venus, so you have that sensitivity. And their water sign, Pisces, fish, very, very sensitive. So basically, you could both say something in a tone that the other one interprets, and then it can and then that can spiral out of control. The answer is no, unfortunately. I am not seeing that this will develop into a long-term relationship, and the more you want from them, the less you will get, unfortunately. I've got the death card here, which is an ending next to you in tears. Sorry. Yeah, but the good news is in your fate line, you do have somebody who you are fated to be with. And before I said we have lots of soulmates, and you can have more than one. To the person that I spoke to before, with you have a very specific soulmate. Like, this is the person you're going to be with. So nobody is going to be good enough because it's not them. So you're very rare. You're one of the rare people on the planet that has a designated soul for you. Most of us have many souls in which we can choose from. Cool. Any advice from Spirit? Been a really harsh 2 years. I've been through a lot of loss. I'm trying to work on myself, but still I'm dealing with sadness. Yeah, well, that can take years. Whenever you're dealing with loss, grief has waves. And how you get through that for you specifically is by making sure each part of your day, you have things in that day that you really enjoy and that you love, like a bath with candles or essential oils, or the music that you like, or a really good nourishing meal. Every day, something has got to be in your day just to nourish and nurture you. Yeah, look, you're going through a rite of passage, honey. It's a rite of passage, and unfortunately, you've got 5 more months of it, not as intense. You have a lot more connection with Spirit helping you through, but it's almost like when you have those waves of the emotion and you're not working, or you can do this, you literally need to just go lie down and let it wash through you like the river. Like, you go, man, I'm just letting this emotion drown out of my feet like the Ganges River. I'm letting it flow, rather than going over here and going, oh, my bad, I love it so bad. Like, it's like, no, open up and just let it flow, because you have a lot of suppressed emotions, and your Spirit has said, I can suppress these no more. You need to feel these, and more importantly, feel and release, not feel, release. So you're feeling them and you let it just flow out. That's what you need to be doing. Now, here's the good news. On the other side, you do break through, and not only that, you come out really more stable within yourself, loving yourself more, and more able to deal with things that come at you without being reactive to it. And most importantly, compassionate. You are being taught compassion, because your purpose, I got goosebumps, your purpose coming up, you're going through this rite of passage, as I said, your purpose coming up is going to require you to be there for people in a compassionate way. So Spirit's throwing a whole lot of crap at you right now so that you can develop compassion for yourself. And when you have compassion for yourself and through the hardship that you're going through, you are better able to fulfill your purpose coming up, where you're going to be there for others. And I just got goosebumps on that. So just know you got to take it on the chin, whatever life is throwing at you, and just start being more vigilant at releasing emotions, releasing limiting beliefs that have been backing up for several years now. And you have a lot of love around you. I've just got, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, coming from members of your family. You've a tremendous amount of Spirit around you, a lot of love. They're kind of like cradling you and throwing light at you so that you need to release these emotions, and things will keep happening until you've completely released. And when you completely release, life will start getting a little bit more stable. Awesome. Do you see a long-term relationship with my boyfriend that just moved in? Oh, here's hoping. Here's hoping, Lani. Let's have a look. I think, I'm not quite sure if there's a link for you to go to my profile. I'm pretty sure there is somewhere along the line. Divine Destiny Grace, for those of you who want to keep coming to me for other things that happen in your life. I do a lot of life coaching as well as readings about your future and about your purpose and career and relationships, and your spiritual development and your spiritual awakening. You'll see all of that on my profile. Oh, wow. I'm so glad I get to say happy news to somebody who's in a relationship. I'm really happy about this. Lovers, soulmate, this guy you have been incarnated with and you have loved for millenniums, and he has loved you for millenniums as well, whoever this person is. Very, very deeply spiritual in other lives. A lot of good, strong emotional stability, which is what he loves about you. New beginnings, more money coming into the unit. Talk of marriage coming up. 7 months of just really enjoying being together, moving forward, and then moving towards a more confirmed commitment. So you will be talking about marriage soon, very soon. So I'm so excited I got to deliver some good news on that. So yes, the answer to that is yes. When do you see me finding work as a specialist? I'm a Libra. So am I. Our work in the world needs to be fulfilling. Okay. Yeah, you've got stagnation energy around you. I don't know if you exercise, but you need to exercise. Your energy is so stagnant, it's not attractive right now. And I don't mean that physically, superficially. I mean the vibe that's coming off you to attract the work that you want. It's a bit down in the doldrums, and exercising every day will move that energy so that you can pick that energy up and be more vibrant, and then something can come to you, because at the moment you're in a hiatus. You've got a lot of stagnation on the job front, and you need to whip up energy in order to get something happening, because right now there isn't anything here at all for a couple of months at least, maybe even 4. You got the Hanged Man here, which means you're in a hiatus, you're hung, nothing's happening according to what you want. And the reason for that is that you need to connect energy with attraction. So the more you can energize what you do in the day, the more excited you can get about something in your world, the easier it is going to be for you to bounce out of this, create the energy, and move forward. I mean, obviously, eventually you are going to find work, but you could find it sooner than what is planned right now, because right now you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And we need to shift that energy so that you're no longer waiting and it's there, because otherwise you're going to be waiting for, like I said, a minimum 2 months, if not 3 or 4. But you are in control and you can change that in this instance. I hope that's, exercise has come up very, very, very strongly. And if you already are exercising, then just take a look at making sure that exercise is not draining you, but it's energizing you, because the key is being energized. Awesome. Thank you, guys. That's great. Thank you. You're welcome, all of you saying thank you. Really love a reading surrounding my current situation regarding my ex-partner. Okay, so that's a little vague. What situation? I'm going to have to take some time to tune in. So I'm not quite sure what you're actually specifically asking there. Remember, when we're doing these really fast readings, and even on that Cassandra app, we don't have a lot of time. You're paying for every minute when you're on the Cassandra app. So you want to get specific about what you actually want to know. Ew. Okay. Okay. So you have the 5 of Cups and the 8 of Cups, which aren't very good emotional cards here. So I would go out on a limb and say it's time to just really move on from this. It feels like there's quite a bit of toxicity here. And it feels like that might be a little bipolar, as in Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Oh, wow, beautiful, euphoria, lovely, lovely connection, feels so sweet. And then there's this that comes in as a dynamic between you, which is a very strong indication that he's not the one for you, or they're not the one for you. I didn't check in to see if it was male or female, but I do have very masculine energy here. So whatever that configures for you. Yeah, so not knowing what you actually want to know, I'm just going to tell you what Spirit's saying here is like, this is somebody you need to move away from really quickly. And then just, yeah, move on. You've got expansion when you do. When you don't, you've got 5 of Cups, which is brokenheartedness, feeling broken, feeling like there's a whole lot of pieces that have got to be put back together. Stagnation, energy just not moving, being stuck because you're not committing to moving on, and that needs to happen. Further down the track, could you come back together and have a go at it? And I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing big changes for you coming up, very, very big changes. So it's kind of like you're going to get a wake-up call from universe if you don't move on from this, sorry to say. Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Mina, Capricorn. Lovely to meet you, Mina. You have a pretty face. Fahad, is it Fahad? Pisces, feel about me. What does he feel about you? I'm assuming this is romantically, since you use the word feel. You're not talking about your boss or your brother. After having had an argument. Ooh. Okay. You know what? That you've got the card of stagnation here, which means the energy in the heart. When I tune in to go, what is the feeling there? I'm not able to pick up any energy because there's nothing going on at the heart level. In the head, there is some acknowledgement of a connection and possibly a pathway forward for the two of you in the immediate future. There is a development of caring, but it feels more that it's going to transition into a friend zone, unfortunately. And I have the delusion card here, which means you're seeing something that isn't there. Sorry. You do have a connection with somebody. You've got the moon card here and you've got the soulmate card here. So there is a connection out there for you, but there's a lot of stagnant energy around this guy. And it's his loss. Totally. It just means that the compatibility is not there for the long term. So, okay, next. I'm going to take a few more readings, and at the top of the hour, we will go. So for those of you who have got more questions or you want to dive deep into what we've said, Divine Destiny Grace is my name, and you can always contact me on the Cassamba app. Career and financial, please. Okay, so there's no question there. It's very vague. So I don't know what you want to know. So I'm going to tell, oh, okay, you've got a bit of stagnation going on here. Okay, the good news is that new year, new beginnings and expansion. As far as the finances are concerned, it does feel like there's more abundance for you within 3 months, particularly. Things are getting really good and they're really building. And you've also got good teamwork on that. So there are other people around you in the working situation that's going really well. But as far as the short term is concerned, I went there's changes afoot and it feels starchy. It feels like there's frustration and it feels like there's a little bit of negativity around you that you have to wade through in order to get to that new beginning. But the good news is the outcome is expansion in your career, moving up to the next level and more money. So it's just a matter of time. Cool. Is my boss trustable? Depends on what you're talking about. Trustable in terms of what? Can you trust them to tell you the truth? Can you trust them to keep hiring you? Can you trust them? That's because everybody is, has moments where they can be trusted and other moments where they can't, because trust is an ongoing thing that you need to keep earning. So I think, not knowing what you actually really want to know and what you mean by that, I think I'm just going to go into what Spirit is guiding me to tell you. Oh, they're quite visionary, this person. This person is very visionary. So look, this person is, the reason why you're asking this question is because you question them. And what I'm seeing is that there's a personal divide and then there's a professional divide. From a professional perspective, they can be trusted to mean what they say. On a personal level, just like you and me and everybody else, they may tell white lies. And so therefore, they're not 100% coming forward with what they're really thinking, because they're socialized and they feel like they shouldn't be speaking out about that. So that's probably what you're picking up on. I have the abundance card here for you with this role, and I have your perspective. You're seeing things from the glass half empty rather than the glass half full. So your negative outlook is shaping how you're looking at this, as opposed to actually seeing it for what it really is. So I hope that was kind of like what you were asking, because it was not clear what you wanted to know there. I'm going to take one last question here. And as I said, you can always come and see me on the app later on, or any other given day. Does it look like my ex? Let's call him Jay, and I will reconnect again. That's very specific. That's great. There's still feelings here on both sides, but one of the, I would say no in terms of a relationship. Connecting again, yes. Coming together and doing some healing and some resolving of why it's not meant to be, yes. So connecting, yes, but connecting as far as a relationship is concerned, I'm not seeing a relationship here. And I'm seeing you being really hurt and upset if you hold on to that as an idea, unfortunately. Yeah, and I'm seeing there's still feelings on both sides, but not to the level of committing to a future. Showing up here, sorry. Okay, one more. Let's do one more. Who's the lucky last? Twinkle, twinkle, you asked 3 times. What did you ask, twinkle, twinkle? Do you see Nashat Scorpio marrying me? Well, you have the fate card on this. So you guys are fated to be together at this stage. I do not see a proposal here just yet, but you're definitely moving towards commitment. It's a really good connection. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Well, I know a lot of you asked questions and weren't able. Trust him. Oh, so I just want to ask the twinkle, twinkle. Trust as in go to him with problems. Oh, yes. Yeah, he's a visionary. So he's very good at trusting with problems. Yeah. But a lot of it is just being logical and just being unemotional with him and just saying, hey, here's the issue. Can you help give me insight? Use the word insight. Can you give me your insight? Can you give me your wisdom? Because then he's going to come into his visionary mind and he is going to want to give you some of his wisdom. Awesome. So for those of you who didn't get to ask questions, I'm so sorry. Get your questions answered. There's so many, which is awesome. Maybe we'll do this again sometime. But I'm certainly available on the Kasamba app most days for you to come and either have a longer reading with me or have a reading with me at all. And I think there'll be a link somewhere where you can click over to have a look at my profile. Thank you very much, everybody, and hopefully I'll get to see you in my app. Bye-bye.